So I'm Mark, the CEO. This is Tom, Chief Product Officer. We're Mobile Streams, and we deliver next generation content to global audiences. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of tell you a bit about the business, give you a brief history, tell you where we've come from, where we're going, what we're doing, and all of our sort of plans, basically. So top level, we're a content group that delivers world-class gaming content via our leading data intelligence and content platform to our global audience, which currently is over 800 million people, almost 1 billion people. And we're going to go through all the details of how we do that, what types of content we deliver, what types of gaming, all the elements of that. Tom's going to walk you through a lot of that. What I'm going to do first, though, is just give you a little brief history of the company, tell you about the business. So Mobile Streams itself is about a 20-year-old company. It's actually been on AIM for around 16 years. However, and it traditionally sort of delivered HTML5, quite simple games, globally via contracts with telcos, telecoms providers. And these were direct carrier billing contracts. And in these contracts, they're pretty good because someone could subscribe to a package of games or a game and the money just comes out of your phone bill. So it doesn't come off your credit card. It's a very low barrier to entry. And so these are pretty effective contracts. But over the years, they just didn't manage the business very well. They didn't invest in it. They lost interest in it. And actually, when we took it over, which was in December 19, they were actually looking to delist the business. So we came in, saved the business for all the shareholders, rescued it. And we always thought there's a lot of value there. There's a lot of value we can create. And so number one, they had the data that they could get from all of the games that they delivered over the previous 20 years, and we could take that insight, add it to some technology that we already had, and what we could do therefore is produce this content insight platform that we launched in July.
Excuse me, guys. We've got your desktop.
Apologies for that.
Lisa, can you see that, Lisa?
Yeah. Does it come back?
Okay, we're back.
Yeah. So I just need to move something on that. Okay. So we just got some trouble with the computer. Is there any way to move that? Can't move it. Okay, right. Basically, there's just some problems with the computer here. But broadly, as we said, we launched a SaaS platform in July 2020, and that took all of the data that we'd harvested from the previous 20 years of content delivery, and that was hugely successful. So actually, the company, when we initially took it, was suspended for about 6 months. The previous management, we came out of suspension into COVID. We launched this platform, went really, really well. The National Emergencies Trust used it during COVID. Various big brands have used it, and we even launched a sort of individual and small user sign-up version of that for 10 or 15 pounds later in 2020, and that's gone from strength to strength. And that delivers content that basically allows people to deliver very effective content into any type of website or service. And then later on in 2021, in March, we announced a deal with Quanta, who are iGaming specialists, to launch a number of services. They bought in and they're paying for, and they're a customer of the SaaS platform. But also along with that, we launched a number of services. We launched these live scores, iGaming sports services in Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil, and they've done very well. And we'll talk a bit more about those later. So we started to reinvigorate the gaming business with one eye on what's to come. We also reinvigorated all of our legacy contracts that we inherited when we bought the company. And these are with huge telcos in India, Mexico, Argentina, all around the world, everything from Geo to Vodafone to Telcel to Movistar. And that gives us a large audience for which to sell out our gaming products to. Recently, we signed a partnership with IGS, International Gaming Systems, and that allows us to expand our content strategy, expand our esports and iGaming strategy even further. And actually, recently, we just hosted a huge international sports tournament with a major footballing club on our site, and we'll talk about that a bit later on. So we just got the slide. And then we acquired actually the live score services in February. We acquired those services from Quanta, they were going so well because we wanted the technology, we wanted to use it in our other services that we're going to roll out and that we've been rolling out, our sports services and our gaming services. And actually that software was so successful, we're actually now selling it to other companies who want to use it. So we've got some B2B contracts. And now we're in the process of like massive expansion, growing our audience, growing our revenue, growing our services. So if we just go on to the next slide. So what's the opportunity? Well, it's simply enormous. So the gaming industry is now bigger than movies and music combined. It's worth over 200 billion. It's actually set to go in the next couple of years to 800 billion. And we just want to take a couple of percent of that, a few percent of that over the next few years. We're in an amazing position to do that. So what's our expansion strategy? How are we going to get there? How are we going to do that? Well, basically, I'm going to hand over to Tom in a minute, but broadly, the cross-platform area is where we've built our technology, where we're aiming at. It's where the whole industry is going. It's already started. So the business that we inherited was based on the old fixed sort of PC terminals, and we reinvigorated it for the mobile industry, but more importantly, into the sort of, if you like, cross-platform market. So that's metaverse services. I'm sure you've heard of that. Tom's going to take you through that in much more detail. It's also known as Web 3.0. But broadly, the opportunity is enormous because in terms of content consumption, content engagement, content interaction, content creation, it's nothing short of the internet completely reinvented. And the opportunities that come from them are vast in revenue generation. So I'll hand over to Tom now, who's going to walk you through some more areas of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and then I'll take it back afterwards.
Thank you very much, Mark. So we're going to be guiding you through two main areas this evening. The first is what our overall expansion strategy is, and the second is detail on how we're going to enter this market that's going to grow from 200 to 8 billion by 2024. Mark will then come back in and pick up at the end of the presentation, sum up our headlines and recap our vision. Just beforehand, I just want to pick up on this slide in more detail. If you look at the fixed on the left-hand side here, we can still see it's a $90 billion industry. However, when we talk about fixed, we're talking about PC and console, and these declining year on year. But where the growth is in mobile. You can see the smartphones 8% growth, tablet near 3%, up at 93 billion. We call it cross-platform. This is where everything's moving to at the moment. We're very much in the mobile space, being mobile streams, and that's kind of where our heritage is. But it's very seamless for us to be able to move into this arena, and this is where we're going to be heading. And this is the key reason why. If you look at some of the big players in the market this year, there's been over 100 billion worth of investment just in this area. We've got on the left here, we've got Facebook, which is 10 billion this year, just in their Horizons World, which is their kind of meta offering. Nike has bought Artifact for an undisclosed amount. Artifact is a really vibrant NFT platform. Up at the top right, you've got Activision Blizzard, which was a controversial acquisition by Xbox at nearly 70 billion. And then esports wise, at the bottom here, you've got a 1 billion acquisition in ESL, which runs the largest, biggest esports opportunities out there at the moment. So how we're going to move forward and continue with our reinvigoration strategy is the next part of this presentation. And the key thing for us is we're going to harness this movement, this market direction into a couple of different areas. We're going to be focusing on gaming, we're going to be focused on esports, and we're going to be focusing on NFTs. And this is all about driving revenue across our huge audience reach, as Mark said, nearly 1 billion people. And this will, of course, be backed up by unique data insight, giving us our competitive advantage. So what are we known for? We're known for gaming. We're a content business, and this is the heart of what we actually do. And our first strategy is to maximize our gaming potential. Our gaming footprint is going to get even more vibrant and wider than ever to drive further revenue and really premium player experience. First of all, as Mark mentioned before, this is through our acquisition of Live Scores, which has already happened. And then the second has been through our really huge deal with Vodafone and Geo. And a point of note at the bottom there with the Google Play Store, we've got a really big advantage of our DCB, which is direct carrier billing technology, which enables really first purchase. And we can pick that up in the Q&A if there's any further questions about that. Secondly, we also want to widen our reach really even further than the telcos, and bring the players back into our universe by launching our own app, which will be a first this month. which we call MGC Arcade, which is mobilegaming.com arcade. Our own apps will provide us with more immersive experience and a great way to harvest more revenue and data. We've got some visuals of what it's going to look like on the right. You can see there's no titles because we haven't actually released who we're doing a commercial partnership with, and we haven't verified the actual games that we're going to be using, but you get a feel of how vibrant this app is going to look. There is also a huge emerging market of play to earn gaming. And we're developing our own IP in this blockchain, crypto and NFT space tech that will enable us to lead the way in this industry. And finally, we're going to be relaunching mobilegaming.com. This is a hugely valuable and underutilized asset that we're going to build and grow into a valued gaming destination. We're going to be pulling news from our data platform. We're going to be putting games on there. We're going to do NFTs and airdrops. We're going to be able to, people are going to be able to access the app from this. And then also we're going to be hosting esports events. Esports is a great multifaceted mechanic that brings people together from all over the world, and the stats speak for themselves. If you even look here, occasional viewers is 220.5 million. That means anyone that's probably viewed it 1 to 2 months. Weekly is 215 million who are esports enthusiasts, but combined there you're looking at 430 million, 35 million as a base. And you can even see there that Forbes is saying that mobile gaming is going to transform esports, which is kind of the space that we're in. Esports is becoming so popular for players because it's an immersive and interactive entertainment vehicle all down throughout leagues. It's becoming popular for brands because it's a direct gateway into gaming, NFTs, metaverse, merchandise, data collection, partnerships, eyeballs, and live and post-live content. And mobile is going to become this future destination, and it's a seamless entry for mobile streams. As a point of note there, you can see that Man City has also just entered a 3-year deal with Sony that was seen and build their own virtual Etihad Stadium because they can see the value in these platforms, which brings us on to our platforms that we're working with now. So we've actually done a deal with IGS and BattleRiv to work alongside them with their online competitions and gaming platform here. And this will give us a large ability to deliver huge gaming experiences via these platforms. An example would be one of the largest games, or the largest game actually, which is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Mobile, which is also known as PUBG. We have been over the last 2 weeks working with them. You can see the stats here. PUBG active players 100 million. PUBG Corporation, which is Tencent Games, which are obviously a huge company. We've done a competition with them over the last 2 weeks where we've taken the top game in the world, which is PUBG, and European football. So league stars such as Besiktas in Turkey, who actually come together and actually play these events online. So how does this work? If you were going to go to mobilegaming.com, you'll be able to see now our entire mobilegaming.com has been taken over by PUBG. If you were to click on launch there, you could actually see the events that have been taking place. And the way that it works is we have a 2-week round robin event. There's a prize pot for winners and runners ups. We have 16 different teams competing, and it's a partnership with multiple brands. We have commentators there throughout that are talking different languages and talking through the games and the excitement of that. We have a live video feed. We have interactive messaging, and the revenue is generated through advertising, merchandising, partnerships, and as we're moving forward, NFTs. So with NFTs, they're a great way for mobile streams and brands to build value. NFTs are already predicted to be an 80 billion industry by 2025. In short, they're a great mechanic to deliver true ownership that's never been there before. And for gamers, this is a real tradable asset. There is a lot of conflicting press around the usage, and they act as a great tool though for engagement, churn reduction, and revenue generation in the right hands. And the key thing, as we've been talking about platforms, we believe is to build your own IP in this space. And this is what we're building, and we're also going to touch upon this in a minute. But how does this work in practice? So here are some examples of how we're living at the moment. An example would be that if you were going to enter one of our games, in order for us to kind of stay in touch with you, we would get you to enter your email address. Once you've entered your email address, we then give you a free NFT. Now that could be a skin or a tradable asset. It could be a t-shirt, a pair of boots, a special weapon. When that game becomes popular, that tradable asset then has value within that game, and gamers will want to swap, sell, purchase it, transfer it with you. And that's really how NFTs work. And it works really well for brands and things like cards, tokens, skins. And when you start to put the layer of subscription services onto that, it becomes a really exciting opportunity for brands to build communities. And the key thing is, how do you do it? And you need to really do it through your own platform, your own trusted platform. And this is what we're going to be launching. It's branded for our clients. They get their own automatic wallet features. It's multi-language. It's fully secure. There's full support available for all the brands. And this is where we start to move into the crypto space, where we're underpinned by really top-class technology. Last couple of slides is merchandise. We've got a slide in here because we think it's important. It's a great way of generating revenue. It's all about how we get the correct merch in, how we license that. The gaming accessories market is due to nearly double over the next few years, and we're planning to deliver partnerships here to coincide with events and across our different platform solutions to make sure we harness the power of merchandise and harness that growth. And then finally, just to really come to what underpins and is the backbone of our strategy is our data insight. And the way that it works with our data insight platform is it scours the web. It searches through hundreds and thousands of sites to locate the best content. As well as being honoured that our tool won the best digital content platform last year, we still use this ourselves to give us the best insight and deliver the content strategy across our huge audience. And later this year, we're going to be activating a new service that will be generated from this platform, and it's going to be taking lots of gaming content and delivering it back to our audience. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-hand over to Mark just to recap on our vision.
So how do we bring all this together? And I think the best way to look at it is when you think about an event space or a stadium, a bricks and mortar one. Think about Wembley. That can hold what, 100,000 people, maybe a bit less at an event. And those people you can sell. They can buy a ticket to the event. They can buy merchandise. They can have dinner. They can have an experience, and you can sell various different things to them. But already on mobilegaming.com, our virtual stadium, our virtual capacity is almost 1 billion people. It's 800 million people, and we're growing that day by day, month by month, year by year. And the way to think of this is a virtual arena, a virtual space. So the metaverse is you come into mobilegaming.com, you can play a game, you can watch an esports tournament, you can listen to a band virtually, you can see a performance. And in our virtual space, through the platforms we've created, we can do a number of different things. It's digital real estate. And the platform we've created gives us the best space for footfall, it gives us the best shelf space, it gives us the ability to sell various different products in these events and through these games, multi-channel stuff. We can sell digital merchandise, we can sell real merchandise. Through NFTs, we can deliver content, we can deliver music, we can deliver images, we can do various different things, and we can do this to an enormous global audience. You know, this isn't some sort of fanciful thing. We've just started, we've just hosted our first large esports tournament. It went extremely well. And this is where everything is going, whether you're Coca-Cola, whether you're Disney, whether you're Man City, whether you're a food brand, every single board, every single brand needs a strategy, is having a strategy for the metaverse, is claiming its digital real estate in Web 3.0. It's the entire industry has started to go this way. Everything is going this way, and we have got ourselves into an amazing position through the platforms we've created to have the best of everything in that space. So finally, the market size is enormous. It's 800 billion by 2024. We will aim to take 2 to 3% of that in the next 3 to 5 years. Our audience reach is enormous already, and this isn't some sort of future thing. We've already started. We've already started generating revenue. It's in the last 3 months alone up 87.5%. We're generating $150,000 a month, and our growth is just getting bigger and bigger and larger and larger. So we think there's an amazing opportunity. When we found the company, I think it was worth, when we took it over £250,000, it's worth about £10 million today. The opportunity to grow this into a business worth in excess of many hundreds of millions of pounds, I think, you know, is there for the taking. We're extremely pleased with how it's gone so far, and there's a lot more to come. So with that, I'll hand over and answer some more questions.
How many employees do you have? Because you have big ambitions, as you said. and obviously the meteoric rise of the company. So how are you going to fulfill those ambitions?
Yeah. Well, as you may have seen in the presentation, through partnership. So we have a small core team, people. There's around 10 people in the business that are sort of actually working on it full time. The rest is all in partnership. We have our own developers, but we also have partnerships with IGS. We have partnerships that we did when we launched Live Score. Look at the way we did it with Live Scores. We partnered with Quanta to launch that, and then bought the software in. Once it was going great guns, now our own team are doing that. We partner with IGS for other areas, and then when we think we want to create our own IP, we use our own team to create that. And so the thing about this space is, you don't need a huge team, and we believe very strongly in the partnerships as the way to go.
Okay.
Very efficient.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you win contracts? Do you have a sales team? What big players?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's interesting because obviously when we first started, it's a great question. So when we first started, the company went into suspension. When we first took it over, we had to comb through it, go through all the data, and produce this content intelligence software. And while we were spending, COVID hit, right? And so it was mainly therefore through our own contacts, our own marketing, our own proactivity, which you have to be all the time. You have to be proactive. But then actually, by launching the SaaS platform, hundreds upon hundreds of people on that, and that gave us leads that we could then sell to. And then with the gaming, it's as our audience has grown, as we've reinvigorated these contracts, we now have people coming to us. We've got people wanting to access that audience. We've got people wanting to use our platform to create these virtual events, these virtual spaces, these esports tournaments. We've got people that want to put their product on our shelf space. So we have the global shelf space, and we have the ability to take a product or to take a brand, or to take a license that isn't being monetized in this space and monetize it. So for brands, this is an absolutely great way to drive revenue. They bring the brand to us, and we put it out to over 800 million people, and we can monetize it in the gaming space, in the esports space, and now going forwards in the NFT space, which is going to be amazing. We've got some amazing plans for that. Some of the stuff the team's doing is incredible, to do with how we can take content that's just been sitting there and distribute it out to fans, to people, utilizing royalty mechanics and things like that. So, you've always got to be proactive. You've always got to reach out. But actually, more and more people are coming to us, and the deals we've been doing are getting bigger and bigger. And we're extremely pleased with how the sales funnel is at the moment.
Okay, got time for one more. Now, please bear with me. This is quite a long one. The wall of warrants at 0.5p appears to be causing an issue at the moment. You have released many news items on partnerships and revenue growth that point towards a higher valuation for the company. Yet the SP refuses to rise into that wall. Is the company in real need of the cash that would come from these warrants being exercised? And if so, does this mean you may extend the life of them or try to raise cash another way?
Okay, good question. Lots of things there. Let's try and break it down. Do we need cash? No. We've got absolute total control of our cash burn, got plenty of money in the bank. Our revenue is increasing rapidly, so we don't need cash. That's the first thing. Are the warrants a drag on the ticket? Well, I think we're in exceptional times, as every presenter, no doubt, and previous one was the same, would say. I think, it's very nice. They say that the announcements that we've put out means our value should be significantly higher than it is now. We think that as well. But we exist in the world, like and the situation at the moment with Ukraine, with the global situation, is making it difficult for everyone in terms of share price rises. So it's nice to know that people out there feel that we should be worth more, that we've put out enough already to be worth more. Are the warrants alone affecting that? I don't think so necessarily. We don't have any plans at all to extend them. I think they all finish anyway by the end of this month. So I guess, based on what that person said, we should expect to see the price rocket up and realign based on the announcements we've already put out. So great news. Get in now and grab a bargain.
Okay, just one final quick one, if I may. Is the company expected to report a profit this year?
Well, that again is a great question, because we often discuss this. So, operationally, could we be profitable now? Well, I guess we could, if we wanted to be, we could be profitable. But we're interested in growth. What we're interested
Yeah.
in doing is look at what we've done in the last year and a half, really. It's incredible, just in the last 6 months. And what people, I think, we're a public company, so I've got to be, you always got to be careful what you can say, but what people can't see is what's to come. With all the platforms we've been creating, we've been developing, the partnerships we've been building. And, we're looking to build a company worth in excess of 100 million, pounds. People will be very, very happy when we do that. And I don't want to artificially make us profitable, just in the short term, but we're doing extremely well. It's probably all I can say.
Okay, brilliant. You've run over time, but that's no problem. Appreciate the presentation. Very good. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tom. Obviously, we'll send slide decks to the delegates who tuned in this evening, and we'll send you the video for your approval. So we'll say good evening.
Technical challenges, just so we had some technical challenges at the start with our screen, so we actually couldn't see the screen. That's not what we presenting from, so apologies for that.